And after this had taken place, he said, I think we made them. And he was speaking about children.
So Lovy once got Gigi pregnant. And that's the part that I want to talk about on this particular episode. But I don't just want to talk about that. I want to use this episode as a way to educate people in America, people outside of Africa. Because for us, what she's about to describe right now, we pretty much understand. But then for people out there, they can dismiss it and think it's just here. We know what this one that she's about to talk about is pure juju.
And after this had taken place, he said, I think we made them. And he was speaking about children.
This particular point here will prove to you that this man does not hear from God, not even once. If he was hearing from God, this should have been clear. Now notice, he says to her,
he said, I think we made them. And he was speaking about children.
We made them. And so, talking about having a child, meaning that she was pregnant. Whatever spirit told him, she's pregnant. But notice this.
After a couple weeks, I'm home and I was pregnant. And there was a day that I had reached out to him. I had told him like what I was feeling and whatnot. And he told me, do you want me to ask God? And I was like, sure. Like I said, okay, but I know that I am. So after that, the next day, I wake up, I go to the restroom and I see blood. And so I'm so confused, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's not what I think it is. So as soon as I walk out the bathroom, I mean, literally as I'm walking out of the bathroom, he calls me, which this was just so strange to me, but he called me, I answered the phone. And before I say anything to him, I said, so what did God say? He says to me, not yet, but soon. I want to have so many babies with you.
This is a very important point. This is a very, very important point. If there's anything more important, notice something. In the first point is, we made them. Okay? So he knows. So then, when she starts telling him, oh no, I think, you know, of course, it's a woman, she's now losing a child for a woman is a very, very deep thing, more than what most men actually even realize, because they start to bond with this child. They start thinking about how they're going to dress the child. They start thinking about how, they're going to feed the child. When the child starts crying, they're going to be there, They start building an emotional life with this child before. Barcelona, remember, is it the principle of witchy? Principle of witchy is that you give up what you love. Give up. You understand? You have to be fast, You can't say everything. You have to be fast. So, remember, even for God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son. You see? In witchy stuff, in cultism, the principle is to turn you into a god or a demigod, where you give up what you love for what you want. Okay? So, let's go back. I hope you understand the principle. You understand the principle. So for the woman to bond with this child and all these things, what she loves is now being given. I'm not talking about me. I don't know what you're thinking of. What are you thinking of? I'm just giving hypothetical stuff. Be wise. And so, what the woman loves is what's being given. Are we clear there? All right. Let's go back to what Provovo said here. Provovo says, I think we made them. Then after she starts talking about how, the child may be pregnant, what? Immediately he takes that and says, do you want me to ask? How? What was the first statement you made? If you were hearing from God, why did you say you think you have a child and then now you need to ask? What are you asking about? And then he goes to ask, and then the very morning he goes to ask. overnight. In the morning, the child miscarried. And the moment the child miscarried, he called. Ah. Something's off, man. Something's off here. It's a bit sauce. It's sus at the highest level. Now remember, she's talked to him about how she's, and whatever she might have talked about, expressed this bonding with the child or an expected relationship, like all these things that he had been manipulating her to think about concerning her and him. And so now there's a child now, she now can envision how it would look like, because now there's a child and all these things. And so at that point, do you want me to go and ask? It's not, do you want me to go and ask? It's now that the permission. Remember what they said about Dracula? That Dracula doesn't have access to come in. You understand? So at that point, and I want to move. I want to move from that, and I want to remind you about the story of Passion. I want to come to this story because you'll remember Passion Java impregnated a girl some time ago. And you'll remember the girl came out, exposed that she was pregnant. She showed videos of herself with the mandem and claimed that there were these things here that the child should be rid of, allegedly. And also, if you go and you actually read it even further, it says what is the craziest part is that after she did, she also got other girls who also were told to do the same, allegedly.
Like, I want to have a lot of babies with you. And so we get off the phone and I'm just sitting in my bed and I'm just thinking about everything. And I'm also like hurt because I just felt so alone in that moment. Jesus help me. I do want to mention that I have talked to other women that were involved with him, and they had told me that they too had experienced similar situations where as soon as they would tell him about a pregnancy, within a couple of days or even hours, like myself, they would start bleeding and lose pregnancy mysteriously.
Dracula comes to gain access to that which you love. Needs access. And so, it's fascinating that these stories are very similar. You hear what she says, and she says she met other girls who were also manipulated in the very same. That's the core root of manipulation. Because there's a lot of people that say it's not manipulation. She was willing. It's manipulation when it is so crafted in the manner that you are seeing here. Now, this idea of manipulation, you see the same thing when there was that girl who went to Prophet Uche's church.
Something you saw, you've witnessed something that the memory can't leave you.
Yes, that's very true.
You walked into something unexpectedly.
Yes, there's two. The other one I can speak about.
One that we can't speak about it now. But that's the one that is eating you like a cancer.
I was involved with a certain prophet. And I didn't know the kind of person he was when I got involved with him.
Oh, okay. So, she was involved with a certain man then.
He lied so much, he hid so much, and then I only discovered at a later stage what was happening.
You discovered that it was you and multiple others.
Yes, that's very true. Yes, I discovered that it was me and multiple others because he would make sure that nobody becomes my friend so that I don't find out, and then turn everybody against me so that I don't find out.
This particular lady here was talking about a different prophet from who was located in Pretoria. We know who he is. Now, here, this is a different one. Is he from Kenya? Or now residing in the US? That particular now, same strategy. He turns people against you. This strategy, it's not one, it's a very popular one that charlatans use. They turn the girls against everybody so that they are suspicious of everyone. They never ask enough questions. They never have anybody next to them. So they are isolated until the entire thing collapsed. When the entire thing collapsed, that's when they realized, Haibo, what was going on here? Listen to Gigi's story where she spoke about yesterday. I'll leave that video in the description below, where she mentioned that until she pulled one girl that she met at the airport, she was like, what are you doing in this area? You are from church. What are you doing here? What business do you have here? Only to find out that they were going to the same place. They were going to the same mandams. And so for many people, they said, it's manipulation. There's no manipulation. There is a deception. Now, it's not just average deception. There's juju involved. It's something else involved that allows these people to be so believable. And also, these people are in this idea of relationships and they perceive this person to be very important. And so when the person puts some fear mongering, you have to be very careful. And so they also fall into that trap. Okay. It's not always, it's not always, we move here, we went to a date here, we were at Park so and so. It's not always that simple because they are dealing with these people who are high profiles, who hide everything and all that kind of stuff. And they're good at doing that. So she got pregnant and this call happened and the child was lost. You'll notice within the stories that I'm showing on this in here, it's either one or two. It's either they ask you to do something or they do something. It's always this weird dark stuff, and it's witchcrafty. It's very dark in the sense of what introduces into your life. And so I'm glad she's out. I'm glad she's left this stuff. This is very dark. The sense in which that the story unfolded, it shows that something's up here. Okay, why were you supposedly prophesying, and all of a sudden, oh no, it's not there. We're gonna have many other babies, and so just move on, forget about it. Doesn't mean nothing will have other babies. And this all happens within that frame when he said he's going to ask. And so you have to ask yourself, what is it that happened in between that? And these are the very same people that are claiming to deliver you and pray that you get delivered from what, and then they are still having this kind of things. It's because something else is behind it. All this submission to all the spirits that we heard in the audios and whatnot, that's what's at play here. That's something dark is happening here. And it's about time people see it. But if people choose not to, we cannot force it on you. Shout out to Gigi. I'll leave the video down in the description below. Check it out and I'll see you later.